Hello. So today we're going to practice using a graded tone, which means going from dark to light or from light to dark. We're going to be doing that with our pencil. And then this is a 2B pencil, by the way, a normal sketching pencil. I'm going to have a go with some colours. And we've also got a rubber here too. And I've got my pencils all nice and sharp and ready. Once we've done that, we're going to have a go with some chalk pastels doing a similar thing. And we're going to be doing it by looking at the fantastic artwork of Georgia O'Keeffe. So, as you may already know, she was famous for doing lots of flower paintings and lots of close-ups of flowers too. As you can see, this one zooms in on the centre of a flower. She also did other things like... yeah, we've got some skulls here from animals that she found in the desert when she was in New Mexico in the USA. And yeah, we're also going to use something called a viewfinder, and I've cut kind of like two small rectangles out here. All this is a quarter of a piece of A4 paper, and you fold it in half, and then I cut a small rectangle, and then I cut a larger one that's closer to a square as well. A viewfinder is just something that you would put over a picture, and you would just use it to kind of focus on one part. So I think I'm probably going to use this part when we come down, when we start. All right, so first of all, though, we need to practice using a graded tone. So I'm going to start just with pencil, and I'm going to do it two ways. First, I'm going to pick up my pencil in the way that I would to write, and so I would put it down with the pointy end facing towards me, and then I get my finger and thumb, pick it up, and then flip it over, and then that's how I'd use it to write. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go diagonally, but going across as well. So I'm going to start by pressing hard, and then get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until it kind of disappears. Can you go so light that you almost can't see it? There you go. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, and this time I'm going to smudge it with my finger. So start off by pressing hard. This time I'm going to do a bit of a bigger, darker area. There we go, than the first one. Okay, I'm getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Right, this time I'm going to smudge it. Smudging it with your finger is a good way to kind of blend the tones together a bit more. So it goes from dark to light. This is a graded tone. It's going from dark to light. Okay, and now I'm going to try going from light to dark. I find this a bit harder. So start pressing lightly, then harder and harder and harder. Okay, I found it a bit harder that way. I think I'll smudge that again. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you mistakes that that people make sometimes with a graded tone. And it's this. What they do is they sometimes do a dark bit like that. And then they do right next to it a bit that's a bit lighter, like that. And then next to that, they'll do a bit that's lighter. Right, and it's not bad, but you can see here where it just changes from dark to what we call a mid-tone. Mid-tone is halfway between light and dark. And what we want is no hard edges. We want it to gradually go. That's what graded means. It just slowly starts to go from dark to a lighter tone. So with that, you don't have to give up on it. What you can do is you can just try and join these two bits together by doing by pressing slightly harder and getting lighter and lighter, and hopefully you'll blend the two together. And then if you also smudge with your finger, that'll help too. All right, so I've tried with my sketching pencil, and then I will just move on to a coloured pencil. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to try shading with it on the side. So with the other pencil, with the sketching pencil, I picked it up in the way that I would use it to write. So put it down like that, pointed towards me, and then I flipped it over and I had it like that. So your pencil looks like that when you're gripping it to write. But sometimes when you're shading, you might pick it up a different way. So this time I've got the pointy end facing away from me, and I'm just going to pick it up like this. And I've got my index finger on the top of the pencil, and I've got my thumb at the side of the pencil there. And this way I can shade using the side bit here, the side bit of the pencil. So I'm going to press hard, and again, get lighter and lighter and lighter. And I see how well it smudges. Oh, it smudges quite well. These are just ordinary colouring pencils. Nothing special. If you're not happy with the way it's gone, you can go over it. If this isn't dark enough for you, you could press harder by holding it using the grip that you would use to write. There you go, and press harder now. And get it darker up there. Okay, so there's one example. And then after that, I would probably start playing around with combining two colours together. And so my advice would be, when you're combining two colours, would be to stick to either warm colours together or cooler colours together. So if you're going to do blue, for example, I wouldn't put red over it, because that's a warm colour straight on top of a cool colour. You could do that to see what would happen, but I can tell you what would happen is it would very quickly start to turn brownish. And for me, that's kind of less interesting. It makes the colours a bit more dull. So what you can combine with blue, which will help to turn it green, would be putting yellow on top. So if you think about colours making secondary colours. So I've started with a primary colour, blue. I'm going to start to make a secondary colour. I'm going to go very lightly over the top, and hopefully you can already see that it's started to turn green. I don't want to cover the whole thing yellow, but I'm going to press harder just around here. I'm going to leave this bit blue, I think. There we go. I think that's worked quite nicely. And then I'll try combining, let's see, I'll combine red. Again, press hard. Get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. I'm going to combine red with orange. So I'll put orange over the top, but I'm not going to press hard because I want to be able to see the red underneath it too. So there you go, I've combined two warm colours here. I know I said don't combine cool and warm colours, but that's exactly what I did there. Yellow and blue, but I know that they are both primary colours, and you can combine two primary colours to make a secondary colour. But here I'm combining red, primary colour, with orange, a secondary colour there. Okay, so yeah, that's a good way to experiment with overlaying different colours and seeing how it looks. Okay, so once you've had a go at that, your next step is to grab Georgia O'Keeffe piece of art, and then put your viewfinder over it. I'm going to go for a smaller one here. So I'm looking at this beautiful flower, painting this pink flower here. And you can see, hopefully you can see, where Georgia O'Keeffe has gone from dark in the middle of the flower to light here. And she's kind of gone further out, where it's got lighter and lighter and lighter. I'm just going to zoom in on that a bit for you so you can see. Just put it in here. Okay, so yeah, if we look just here, it's dark here and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So I want to have a go at that using a graded tone. So as you can see, I've started copying the Georgia O'Keeffe picture. I used my sketching pencil and I concentrated on this part here where it's dark. I did lots of lines, and then I'm just starting now to use a colouring pencil, and I'm working on the darker sections here. Okay, so it's easier for me to go from dark to light. You might prefer it the other way around, but I find it easier doing this. So all I'm going to do is copy down some of those dark lines and then shade in some of those dark areas. Right, I'm going to stop around there because I can see that it starts to get lighter and lighter. So this is where I use my skills that I've just been practicing and just try and go lighter and lighter and lighter. Just in the way that Georgia O'Keeffe did. Except she was doing it with paint. We're going to go do it with pencil and then pastel. Now, I tend to shade going diagonally, but you can change direction. There's no reason why you can't. See, like this. That's no problem. There you go. So it started off dark, it went lighter and lighter and lighter. Right, I'm quite pleased with it, but I don't think it's quite dark enough. So what I could do is find a colour that's slightly darker than red, but from a similar family. So I'm just experimenting. I'm going to put, so it's also a warm colour. I'm going to put brown over the top of the darkest areas there. I could try a little bit of black, but it's just a case of experimenting with some darker colours over the top and see what works. Yeah, it's made it a bit darker, but not much. You could try with purple, if you've got that. Oh yeah, this is better. So this is just to make the darker bits even darker. And seeing what works. Okay, try smudging a bit with my finger. Okay, back to the red, and I'll do some of these lighter bits over here. You can see that some bits, the lighter areas, are almost white, so I think it'll help if I leave some areas a little bit white, and it'll look like a kind of a highlight then. So I've left that area a little bit white there. Okay, so that's basically it. We're just trying to copy some of those lines and then look at where Georgia O'Keeffe has started off dark and then gone lighter and do the same thing. Okay, so give that a go.